Ms.Tlaib, I'm also a person of color. I'm not white, although my beard is white. You can tell that I am a little bit darker than most white people, despite the fact that I have blue eyes. We are all people of color. It depends upon what color. To claim that you're a person of color would claim that you are a victim. And the people that you come from, instead of being the victims, were the perpetrators of the worst prejudice of any peoples of the last 1,000 years. What people don't remember or want to remember is that the slave trade in Africa required three components. Number one, it required a black tribe fighting against another black tribe and capturing members of the opposing tribe to sell them into slavery. They had to have middlemen who then sold them to the trading companies who brought them to Europe and to the New World. Who were the middlemen that traded in black slaves? They were all Arabs, Muslims. They sold them to the companies who brought them to the New World or to Europe. A lot has been done in accusing Jews who owned shipping companies that they were involved in the slave trade. Whether they were or they weren't is hard for me to determine. I'm not a scholar in that regard. But one thing I can tell you is that all the middlemen who were in Africa were Muslims, Arabs, just like Ms.Tlaib. To claim that you are a person of color and therefore a person who has been affected negatively by prejudice is a laughing matter. Up until 50, 60 years, till about 70, 75 years ago, you were harassing people. You were murdering people. Today you can't murder them, so you call yourself an oppressed minority. But those who know the history of the Jewish people in the Middle East know that they were persecuted by the Muslim Arab majority. There's a reason why there's so few Jews on this world. One of them was that the Muslims practiced negative population growth on the Jews, stealing their children, putting them into second-class citizenship, the same way that blacks experienced in the South, Jews experienced in the Arab countries, in the Muslim countries, for about 1,300 years. And Ms.Tlaib is a member of those groups. She should not be putting out her color as an extension of peace and brotherhood or sisterhood with other people who have truly experienced persecution. My father was a Holocaust survivor. My mother didn't experience the Holocaust, but a significant percentage of her family was also killed during World War II by the Nazis. Nazis murdered millions of Jews who lived in the former Soviet Union with the Einsatzgruppen. They killed almost as many as those who were murdered in the death camps. My father's family, only 10% of the family survived, and they were fortunate, because those who stayed in Poland, almost all of them were murdered. So if you want to create a victim mentality, I should have it more than you, because my family experienced true prejudice, true gruesome attacks upon our peoplehood. Not yours, Ms.Tlaib. Yes, we are all people of color, but not all colors represent the same thing.